Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we explore the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins that might be hiding in your pocket change right now. Today, we're taking a close look at one of the most interesting pennies ever minted in the late 1960s, the 1968 Lincoln 1-cent coin with the D mint mark. This Denver-minted penny may seem common at first glance, but hidden among those billions of coins are pieces that could be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars to the right collector. So stick around, because in this video we'll break down everything you need to know, from its history and composition, to grading, errors, and the secrets that make this little copper coin such a big deal in the numismatic world. Let's begin with a bit of background. The 1968 D. Lincoln penny was produced at the Denver Mint, one of the busiest U.S. mints of the 20th century. In that year alone, the Denver facility struck more than 2.8 billion 1-cent coins, making it one of the highest mintage years for the Lincoln series. The design features the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, created by sculptor Victor David Brenner, who first introduced the design in 1909 to celebrate Lincoln's 100th birthday. The reverse showcases the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 and used through 2008. If you look closely at the back of the coin, you can even see a tiny image of the Lincoln statue inside the memorial, a small but meaningful detail that many collectors love. Now, while the 1968 D. Lincoln cent is mostly made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, what makes it really intriguing is how its composition, age, and strike quality all combine to affect its value today. Over time, copper coins develop rich tones, and collectors describe them using color designations: brown, BN, red-brown, RB, and red, RD. The redder and shinier the coin, the higher its potential grade and price. A brilliant, full red 1968 D penny with mint-fresh luster can sell for far more than a dull brown one that's been in circulation for decades. Let's talk about value and grading. In everyday circulation, a 1968 D penny is usually worth face value, 1 cent. But if you happen to find one in mint state condition, especially one graded by PCGS or NGC, its value increases dramatically. A coin graded MS 65 red might sell for around $5 to $10, while an MS 67 red example can bring $40 to $75 or even more. The finest known examples, certified at MS 68 red, have sold for $500 to $800 in major auctions. That's right, a single penny could be worth hundreds of dollars just because of its flawless preservation and original color. So if you've got unsearched rolls or jars of old coins from the 1960s, it's definitely worth checking for high-grade 1968 D pieces. But what truly excites coin collectors are errors and varieties, and the 1968 D. Lincoln cent doesn't disappoint. One of the most famous varieties from this year is the doubled die obverse, where parts of the design appear doubled because of a misalignment during the hubbing process at the mint. On a genuine doubled die, you'll notice doubling on the date, the word Liberty, or the motto In God We Trust. Under magnification, it looks like a faint shadow or echo of the letters. Depending on the strength and clarity of the doubling, these coins can sell from $50 to $1,000 or more, especially in uncirculated grades. Another highly sought-after type is the off-center strike. When a coin blank isn't properly centered in the press, part of the design ends up missing, giving the penny a crescent-shaped blank area. Minor off-centers of about 10% might bring $25 to $50, while dramatic off-centers showing less than half the design can fetch $150 or higher, provided the date and mint mark are visible. There are also clipped planchet errors, where a small section of the coin is literally missing because the blank was cut from the edge of a metal strip. These quirky mistakes are easy to spot and can be worth $20 to $60. Some 1968 D pennies even show die cracks, die chips, and the popular BIE die break, a small raised mark between the letters B and E in Liberty that looks like an extra I. These minor die breaks don't bring huge profits, but are fun for collectors and can add $5 to $15 to a coin's value, depending on size and location. Now, to understand why errors like these exist, it helps to picture what was happening at the Denver Mint in the late 1960s. The U.S. was in a period of major coin production expansion. The mint was working overtime to meet national demand, and older presses were being pushed to their limits. That meant more wear-on dies, more striking pressure issues, and a greater chance of doubled dies, weak strikes, and planchet flaws. For today's collectors, that manufacturing stress translated into hidden treasures. Every small imperfection from 1968 tells part of that story, a snapshot of American minting history. When examining your 1968 D penny, lighting and magnification are your best friends. Use a 10 times jeweler's loupe or a USB microscope to study the details of Lincoln's portrait, the lettering, and the date. Sharp, well-defined lines on Lincoln's coat and face, clear steps on the Lincoln Memorial, and bright red luster are all signs of a strong strike and minimal wear. Avoid cleaning your coins. Cleaning removes the original surface and drastically lowers value. Instead, handle them by the edges and store them in protective mylar flips or airtight holders to preserve their color and luster. Another interesting fact is that copper prices have risen significantly since 1968, so the metal content value of these older pennies is actually higher than 1 cent, though it's illegal to melt them down for scrap. That intrinsic copper value adds an extra layer of appeal to collectors who appreciate the rich reddish tone and feel of pre-1982 copper cents. Remember, starting in 1982, the U.S. Mint switched from 95% copper to copper-plated zinc, making older coins like the 1968 D even more desirable for their authentic composition. If we look at auction records, we can see just how high collectors are willing to go for the right coin. One beautiful 1968 D Lincoln Cent graded MS 68 red by PCGS sold for over $800, while another with strong doubling on the obverse realized more than $1,200. Those numbers prove that even a modern-era coin can command serious money when the right combination of rarity, condition, and eye appeal come together. So, why should you care about a small copper coin from 1968? Because every one of these pennies is a tiny piece of American history, a symbol of a nation honoring Abraham Lincoln while undergoing cultural change, scientific advancement, and space-age optimism. The 1968 D penny connects us to that era, reminding us that value isn't always about gold or silver. Sometimes, it's hidden in the simplest coin that's been sitting unnoticed for over 50 years. If you want to build a complete Lincoln Cent collection, the 1968 D issue is a must-have. It's affordable, historically meaningful, and rich with potential varieties to hunt for. Start by checking rolls of pennies from banks or inherited collections. You might be surprised at how many Denver minted coins you'll find. Then, focus on spotting those errors, doubled dies, off-centers, clips, and strong red mint state examples. Each discovery brings you closer to owning a valuable piece of numismatic art.